If you're a non-CPA tax professional, there is an issue of what to call yourself, right? Are you a tax preparer? Are you a tax consultant? Sort of the next level up, I would say, would be a tax consultant. Now, a tax consultant is also going to most likely prepare tax returns, right? If you are a non-CPA tax professional, so if you're a CPA, you have the option of saying, I'm a CPA, right? And so that comes along with certain perceptions from the public, from potential clients, from your existing clients. They kind of have an idea of what you do. If you're a non-CPA tax professional, there is an issue of what to call yourself, right? Are you a tax preparer? Are you a tax consultant? Are you a tax advisor? And what are the differences between those things in terms of what service you provide, in terms of what your value perception is from the client, right? What kind of pricing they're expecting, those kind of things. And so those would be the three terms that I think are most worth considering. And when you look at what you would call yourself, tax preparer is really, based on my experience, would be somebody that specializes in preparing tax returns, right? And so that would have a seasonal element potentially, like you would be working very heavily during tax season, right? Or close to the extension deadlines. And you would be focused on preparing tax returns. You wouldn't necessarily be focused on things like tax planning, tax problem resolution. And so if you're calling yourself a tax preparer, from certain clients, you may have a lower value perception, for example, business clients, because they may be looking for more consulting, more advising, that kind of thing. But I also wouldn't discount calling yourself a tax preparer. Like if you really want to focus into preparing people's tax returns and you don't want to get into those other categories of services, calling yourself a tax preparer could just be quite accurate, and it still can be quite profitable. So I wouldn't fully discount it. Sort of the next level up, I would say, would be a tax consultant. Now, a tax consultant is also going to most likely prepare tax returns, right? When you say you're a tax consultant, though, to a client or to a potential client, that client or potential client has a different perception of what you do and the value that you provide, right? So when you're preparing a return, for example, as a tax consultant and advertising and marketing yourself as a tax consultant, that client is going to have an expectation that, hey, we're going to sit down and we're going to review my tax return in depth. And you're going to give me suggestions for how I could reduce my taxes in the upcoming year. Or you are going to give me ideas of how to substantiate my deductions. This is going to be like a consultant relationship, and that's what my expectation is as a client. Now, from many clients, I should say, that value of that is going to be higher than a tax preparer, right? So they're going to be expecting, probably you'll be an enrolled agent or maybe a CPA. You'll be pursuing more advanced education. You'll be creating an experience for the client that is more about educating that client, consulting them, not just filling out the tax forms, right? Now, the next level up from that, I would say, would be a tax advisor. Again, with this level of calling yourself a tax advisor and actually being a tax advisor, in a lot of cases, you're going to also still be doing tax preparation, right? You're going to have other people doing it for you at your firm, right? So you're still going to be responsible for providing a tax prep service in most cases, although not all cases. You're also going to be providing some consulting, right? So there's going to be some crossover between being a tax advisor and a tax consultant. If you're calling yourself a tax advisor, though, the perception from the client and most likely the way that you want to actually deliver the service is going to be not just about consulting with the client in a way of let's say team working with a client to develop ideas and implement ideas for reducing taxes, but actually generating advice for that client and having your advice, so your sharing of your knowledge and your recommendations, be the major value component for your service, right? And so from the client point of view, they might be perceiving it like, well, my tax advisor, yes, they cause my tax return to be prepared, or they might even be preparing themselves. But really what I'm looking for this person to do for me in the big picture, and the most important thing they do for me, is they give me advice, to reduce my taxes. And that's the main thing, is really to reduce my taxes. So when you go and you say, what are you? What do you do? I would put some thought behind it, because if you tell somebody that you're a tax preparer, or you tell somebody that you're a tax consultant, or you tell somebody that you're a tax advisor, the perception from clients and potential clients is going to be different for each of those terms, right? As well as you want to match up what you actually deliver for your service and what you want to deliver. Because remember, if you're in charge of your own business operations, in many cases, if you're self-employed, but you want to make sure that you match up what you want to deliver and what you can deliver with what you're calling yourself. And so that helps to think through those things and be able to confidently say, I'm a tax preparer, or I'm a tax consultant, or I'm a tax advisor. It just gives you that boost of confidence and gives you that clarity with your clients and potential clients. So those are the three terms that we mainly see being used. And hopefully this short video has given you some insights on which one of those would be best for you at this stage of your career. And again, keeping in mind that with the tax business, where you're at now may not be where you're at in 10 years, right? So you might be a tax preparer now. In 3 years from now, you might be a tax consultant. 5 years from now, you might be a tax advisor. So you're not stuck in one place. You're moving along in your career and you're advancing. That's what we love to help you do here at Pronto Tax School. And hopefully this video is a step in the right direction for you. Thanks for watching.
Hey, this is Imelda here, and I just wanted to take a moment to remind you that if you'd like to keep up with our latest content, to make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.